I'd say I can hit it hard, but I just took my quick little Lego break. Like, really, how many games do you play in a year? You know, and especially for me, like I'm not at that point in my life where I can play a lot. I'm not where I could like be what I would consider a competitive tournament player yet. I'm hoping that like next year, maybe, yeah, definitely by next year, I'm hoping I will be able to. But this year, the kids are just still too young. Still kind of like needing to be here a lot, like wrangle them all. So say I play a game a week, that's 52 games, and then take out the weekends with birthdays. So that's like, even if I play during my birthday, right? That's still 4 just with like who's in this house. Then you have parents, grandparents, friends of the kids. That 52 games easily, just on birthdays alone, it's down into the 40s. And then you have like, you're going to be sick on a weekend. I've already been sick on a weekend. I've already missed. I haven't played any games this year. So right there's 3 or 4 games. So like that, if you have like, I'm going to play a game a week in your head, and that's 52 games, you get to the 30s very quickly. And then at 30 games, you're probably just scratching the surface of getting good. You know, and I would even argue that like at 30 games, maybe you're just, especially if it's going to be something new, like what it is for me, at 30 games, you're probably like maybe just figuring out like your caster. You like, you know, I don't want to be that extreme. And like, you probably, maybe you feel like you know what you're doing. And at that point, like you definitely have everything memorized. And I would say like at that 30 game mark, you're just now getting into the groove of it competitively. Like obviously if you're just having fun wanting to play, like there's nothing, like 30 games is awesome. But again, my mindset's always from the competitive mindset, usually with that kind of thing. So like at 30 games, I'm going to just now be comfortable. You know, if you play a tournament, like that's 3 to 5 games in a weekend. So that's like, I'm just saying like 30 reps in a year is not a lot of reps. You're not going to get super good. You're not going to get to where I want to be playing somebody. So if I wanted to take it seriously, I had to set those games up. 2, can I take it seriously? And then 3, 30 games doesn't really matter. Trying to be competitive doesn't really matter. And I'm wasting all this time thinking about competitive armies and being competitive when I'm just not a competitive player anymore. And that's a hard mentality to break. I think if you're just like a hobbyist and you're a painter, you probably don't get there. And again, I'm coming from like, I was always competitive, mostly with cards. And I'm not like an asshole when I'm playing, you know. I'm not like a win at all cost player. I just like to think of things from a competitive mindset. And obviously I paint way more than I play. But it's kind of like a pretty harsh realization to me that like, best case scenario, I'll get 30 real life games in. And even with War Table, that goes back up to 50 games, which still isn't done. And it's just like that mentality switch of like the list doesn't really matter because I'm not ever going to play it enough to get to competitively. So then I look at statistics and I think like, statistics, am I saying that right? I look at these and like these guys are okay. Like they're mechanical chickens. I've painted a bunch already. I sold the ones I painted. I still got those. Like these are stripped. I think these are like the second wave. So these are getting kind of cool. And honestly, I think I would keep these. I keep the characters just because they're pretty cool and they're good sculpts. This one's pretty dated, but also like would be a cool witch. Both of these are very cool. And you're out of focus, so you can't tell what I'm talking about. Both of these are cool sculpts. And then like if I'm keeping these for like RPG purposes, this is an amazing sculpt. I would definitely keep that and want to paint that. So like say these are the yes. These I probably wouldn't even play. But that's the yes pile. These are like the whatever pile. I can speed paint those with the airbrush super fast in an afternoon. I want to keep those for role-playing purposes because they're usable like anywhere. They're really good cultists and witches. So then these are like, okay, you know, they're not terrible, not great. And if I'm keeping the other stuff, like at least 5 of them for like a cult encounter would be great for D&D. And then kind of same thing, like the Satixis Raider Captain is a newer sculpt. This is the old Captain. These sculpts suck, right? Like I don't know if you can look at them. These are like old school hand sculpted miniatures, but don't have the soul. At least to me, like I think they're pretty bad. In my opinion, they're pretty dated in a bad way. And I like painting old stuff. So those I'm just not looking forward to painting. This is the limited edition Scar. I've got smog belchers, and I think I bought these online. I think they might be recasted. Is that a thing in War Machine? I don't know. They look weird. I mean, they look great. Like, they don't look bad, but it's just the color. I don't know. Then the scavenger's there. So I'm like, I could paint this and be very, very happy to have it, except for these, and be very happy to have it and use these in role-playing games and Dungeons and Dragons encounters. Like, this is a whole campaign setting right here. And I'm junking my table up again. So we come back over here. I have the extreme. This is an extreme Punisher that I'm going to convert into an extreme Juggernaut. I have an extreme Juggernaut. It's not in the picture on the table. Beast 09 or Beast 9. I don't know. Beast number 9. Ruin. Like, to me, those are the 4 coolest Warjacks in the game that I have to paint. I'm extremely excited to paint them. Like, I'm wasting so much time thinking about these lists when I'm not really even going to play it. And do the lists even matter to me as a casual player? What matters is the painting I'm going to do and showing up. Really the same with Crucible Guard. I was kind of like pretty bummed with the nerfs there, but again, I'm having a lot of fun painting those, and they'll probably never see the tabletop from me. So I probably will paint those. And the goal, 1,000 subs, I'll give away the whole Crucible Guard painted army. Official announcement. I think it's a long way to go to 1,000 subs, but paint that this year just because I like painting those colors. A Toro is too, like, another classic Jack in my mind. I don't know why, but I think it's very classical, stereotypical Jack when you think of, like, what does a Jack look like. So those are very cool. I'm having fun painting those. I'll get all the stuff I currently have ready to go painted there, give that away. And I don't know, I'm just like accepting that I'm not really a War Machine player and I'm a War Machine hobbyist, which is also cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe, like, so I enjoy these factions for this year, probably play War Table games. War Table will well be competitive. Like, I could potentially get a lot of War Table games in, and then that doesn't really matter what figures I own to play. But I don't know, I'm adapting to the fact that I'm not really a War Machine player. I'm a War Machine painter. And that's cool too, and that's awesome. And I'll roll up. Maybe I only get 20 games in out of my house, you know? I'm definitely gonna play some against myself just to, like, scratch the itch. But I don't know. But I'm just accepting that I'm a War Machine painter and not a player. So my list doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna leave the app alone. I'm gonna stop wasting time looking at lists. And I'm just gonna paint these models because they're cool. And I'm gonna tell myself that's okay. All right, so enough of that. This week, it's Infinity Week. I've got to finish this Infinity Commission. Starting with him, and then I think it's like 10 figures total. I think this guy's gonna be the most time consuming. He's definitely the biggest, and I think he's got the most stuff going on. So, all right, now it's time to get the web palette back out, get our magnifier, and lock in to do this Infinity Commission. All right, I've got a new setup this time to where hopefully I can see everything, you can see everything, and it all stays in frame, I hope. So there's not gonna actually be a lot of painting on this one because I have a lot of base coating and cutting in to do, but I wanted to just kind of test out a couple of things. And this brush is acting really weird. This is a new brush. PH3LAN Miniatures. I'm following his guide. I'm gonna see if I can do it. Pretty sure I can. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I just realized that with this War Machine update and, like, I'm looking through lists, man, I don't know what's going on with this brush. Let me give it a go to rinsing. It's almost like there's, like, detergent or something in the brush here that's making it act weird. Okay. So here we go again. Yeah, that's what it was. I guess I just didn't wash it out good enough. Maybe there was something in it from the factory. I was just thinking about, like, War Machine and list building, and, like, I'm putting all this thought into list building, and, like, it doesn't really matter because I'm not a competitive player. And just coming to that realization was kind of crazy. And, you know, I think even back, like, before I stopped playing War Machine, or even back before I stopped playing Warhammer, I had functionally stopped playing Warhammer way before I admitted that to myself, you know? Like, the way that I played Warhammer was reading articles on Goonhammer and making lists in Battlescribe And that's what the hobby became way before I realized I wasn't actually playing anymore. And like what I'm checking here about okay. And I'm just like, I gotta accept that I'm not really a player anymore. And to me, like, it seems so simple, but to me that's pretty like groundbreaking. Because I'm like I've just been fighting I hate saying it. I hate using in that season of life. There's a certain type of people who use that turn of phrase that I don't align myself with, but I am in fact in that season of life where I was just kind of fighting the natural flow of it, and I still saw myself as like, I don't know. It's almost, and obviously I'm not gonna put it on the same level as like drinking, but whereas before like I saw myself as a drinker, and now I'm just not. I don't see myself as somebody who drinks anymore. It's kind of the same thing as like, I no longer see myself as a competitive wargamer, and now I'm just like I'm a hobbyist now, which I was always way more of a hobbyist than I was a gamer anyway. But now that I've given up on this notion of being a competitive wargamer, maybe now I can actually enjoy it. Because before I was just focused on how little I was actually getting to play and how little I was actually wargaming. And now I'm like, look at how much time I get to hobby. Like, I get way more time to hobby than probably most people do. The stuff I'm rambling about is like, it's okay if you're not a competitive wargamer. There's lots of other things. And like, if you just let go and let yourself be casual, you'd probably have a whole lot more fun. And if you were like me and what I was doing, you definitely save a lot more money. Because like, chasing the meta is one thing when you're actually playing, but when you don't even get to play, chasing the meta just becomes very expensive for no reason. That's the main reason I quit Warhammer initially, and then they just stopped making models I wanted to paint. All right, base coating is actually going to be a 2-day job because it's taken me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, because a lot of that is just so small. But I'll see you tomorrow.